All right, let us begin our foundations class in Balasana Child's Pose. So really it's starting about tabletop, and then bringing your big toes to touch behind you and taking your knees as wide as is comfortable for your body, and sending the hips back onto the heels, and then lengthening your arms forward so you can rest your torso in between your thighs, and eventually bringing your forehead to the mat. And just taking stock of the knee joints already. If there's tension pulling on the knee joints or any pain, that can just mean something as simple as the quads aren't stretched enough, or the hips are a little tight, the inner thighs and groins. So you could put padding under your knees to start, or if you had a rolled up towel or blanket or block, feel free to rest your sit bones, your pelvis back on a block, just to help give the lift, take some tension off the knees. Or you can always place, I don't have a blanket right here, but on top of the calf and in between the thighs across both legs. And that just helps kind of support the backs of the knee joints by lifting up the hips and taking some pressure off of the strain and pulling from the quads. So wherever you're at, setting it up and settling in. And trying to find our breath. So when you get settled, just start to concentrate on your breathing pattern. And Ujjayi Pranayama is a common breath I like to cue for the beginning and the majority of this type of flow class. So breathing in and out of the nose, if that's accessible. Filling up with breath, letting your belly reach towards the earth as it expands with the filling sensation of air and nutrients. And letting the belly retreat back into the body as you exhale. And maybe you reach your fingertips a little further towards the top of your mat, stretching your spine and your arms, your side bodies, or if there's shoulder tension, you can widen your elbows here. There's 3 more cycles of breath. Letting your breath become audible, warming you up from the inside out. 1 more cycle of breath on your own, filling up nutrients, exhaling out any tension. Press into your palms, and with your next inhale, start to rise up to all fours. Draw your knees in under your hips so you have this nice long neutral spine, and pull your navel up towards the sky. Tuck your toes, feel a little stretch on the soles of your feet. Spread your fingers wide and send it back, downward facing dog. Elevate the knees. Try to keep the spine long here, and press the heels back towards the mat and start to pedal it out. So your palms should be shoulders width apart. Your feet should be hips width apart. Just bend it out, walking your dog, waking up the body. And it's important to keep the spine long. We don't want any lordosis or kyphosis in the spine, so we don't want any like sinking in. We don't want any rounded back, just nice long spine all the way up through the seat. So pressing the thighs, the backs of your thighs towards the back wall, keeping your knees in line with your toes and settling in. And of course, the knees can be generously bent here. That doesn't affect the spine so much necessarily, except for if we have a lot of tightness and it's pulling on the low back. But often that bend in the knees might help a little bit with that. Just take 1 big breath in and lift your hips and heels up a little higher towards the ceiling. And then sigh that breath out your lips, melt your heels towards the mat a little bit more. Nice. And then soften your knees, look at the top of your mat. When you're ready, just tiptoe your feet forward behind your wrists for ragdoll pose. So it's a forward fold with some sort of hand bind grab. You can grab onto your elbow creases, or maybe elbow creases behind your thighs, or an overhead reach with the shoulders hugging down your back. But really what I want here more than anything is for you to nod your head knowing yes and have a nice long spine all the way, crown of head hanging towards the earth. And then you can sway or have any sort of organic movement that feels right. Sort of pedaling into the knees here too. So we don't want to lock our knee joints. We want them soft with a little bend or a big bend. And when you're ready, we'll release our palms to the mat and then give a nice generous bend of the knees, round your spine, chin into chest, slowly roll up to standing. Let your arms hang heavy by your sides, but the palms come forward when you get to the top. And then shoulders into the ears, breathe in, down your back, breathe out. So we have this nice neutral spine, and just a check-in or nice neutral skeleton structure, really. Press through your heels. Pull your belly back towards your spine and up a little bit. Shoulders soft down the back. And then maybe just right here, check in with your stance. I don't know if you've ever had any MFR, myofascial release classes, but this is really fun. You can look down at the feet and see if they're turned out at all. Maybe one's turned out or the other, but we want really the center of the hips, the knees, and the toes all in one line. Just drive through your heels into the ground. Pull your tailbone between the heels towards the earth. And take an inhale, breath, sweep your arms all the way up overhead, reaching for the sky. Notice if the shoulders shrugged up, that's okay, but try to soften them down a little bit. Take a deep breath in. And on your exhale, hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra. You can soften or close your eyes. You can even dip your chin into your chest if you'd like, a little stretch through the cervical spine. Just set an intention for our time together on the mat. I offer up just believing in yourself. Because our inner trust and faith will create our external results. So when you're ready to seal in your intention for your practice on the mat and take that into the outside world, take a big breath in and just breathe in some energy. Part your lips, exhale out any worry, doubt, or fear. Nice, Sina, gently blink your eyes open and inhale, sweep for the sky, mountain pose, Tadasana, big breath. And exhale, forward fold, dive right in half, hinge from your hip creases. You can bend the knees here. Just let the spine get long, head heavy towards the ground, nod your head knowing yes. With your next breath in, halfway lift. So palms can stay grounded or slide up to your shins, thighs. They can reach back and keep it on your hips. It's really about the spine and also checking in with our knees that they're not locked ever. We want to shift the weight forward into the balls of the feet, but keep your heels glued. And then soften the knees as much as you need or like. And really bring the spine parallel to the earth best you can. So it's a lot of core work to hold here. And then hug the shoulders down your back, wherever you are with your hand grab spine. And then really the last bit is checking in with the crown of your head, the spinal alignment in the cervical spine. So tuck your chin so you're reaching forward through the crown rather than looking forward and arching in the neck. All right, one more deep breath in, lengthen through your whole back body. And then exhale, high plank, palms under the shoulders, and step your feet back. Feet are hips width, fingers are spread wide. And notice in the spine here, if you're sinking the hips or popping up more like down dog, we really want to get a nice line of energy from heels, hips, shoulders, and out through the crown. Knees down is just fine. Activate your core by hugging in and up. And we'll hold for 4, 3, 2, knees down on 1 if they're not already. Hug your elbows back and slowly lower to a low plank. So in our low plank, we want the shoulders in line with elbows or higher, but we don't want to drop it any further at this point. And then chin and chest to the mat, booty pops up a little bit. Untuck your toes, lengthen your legs. Exhale out all of your breath. And cobra pose on your inhale, hugging the shoulders down your back. Reaching through the crown of your head, gazing softly past your nose. So the tops of our feet press into the earth and our kneecaps lift. Legs are engaged. Breathe right here. One more inhale, maybe lifting the heart just a little bit more. And exhale, release to the earth. You can always shimmy hips for a little low back release. And tuck your toes, press up to straight arms, high plank, knees down or up. And downward facing dog when you're ready. And pedal it out right here. Hi, Karen. Glad you're here to join us. Just going through our first sun salutation set. getting ready to flow. Inhale, soft knees, look forward. Exhale, walk, hop, or float to the top of your mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way to the top, Tadasana. And exhale, swan dive down or hands through heart center, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, soft in the knees. Exhale, high plank. Now we can go through cobra or we can take it to chaturanga. So I'll cue chaturanga this time. On your inhale, shift forward, high on the toes, shoulders ahead of wrists. As you exhale, hug the elbows back, lower to 90 or stay up higher. Don't go lower. Untuck your toes, straight arms, upward facing dog. Soften the shoulders down your back and avoid crunching in your neck here. We don't want to arch the cervical spine. Hovering the legs, take a breath in. Exhale, downward facing dog, strong through the arms and spine. Heels reaching towards the earth. One more time. Inhale, soft knees, look forward. Exhale, walk, hop, or float. Forward fold at the top. Halfway lift, breathe in. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Tadasana, reach for the sky, tailbone down. Exhale, dive in half. Halfway lift, breathe in, reach to the crown of your head. And exhale, high to low plank, Chaturanga Dandasana. This is your vinyasa flow, so your choice, knees down, knees up. Go all the way down through cobra or up dog. We all meet in down dog, and you can always skip chaturangas and just go to down dog. That's awesome. Nice. Take a breath in and sigh it out. Inhale, soft knees, look forward. And exhale, walk, hop, or float forward. Fold at the top. Halfway lift, breathe in, long spine. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana, and we'll pause here. I want to talk about chair. So in chair, we want the knees bent and really chair our center of our hips, our knees and our toes are all in the same direction. And in some more classic traditional yoga, the toes touch, but the heels are apart, but that does this internal rotation and a little bit of torque on the knees. So keep your feet hips width, that's fine. Sometimes it helps us to fold up our mat a little bit in chair. And if you're fine in chair, just holding, hanging out, bravo, good for you. So if there's any issues in chair, an option is to roll up half or a quarter of your yoga mat, depending on thickness, and put the heels on the mat, the roll, and then the toes spread wide on the bottom. That gives your hips a little more lift here, that's fine. What we want in chair is to hinge from the hips and then working on that knee bend, but also knees take a lot of torque here in the shape. So arms up at heart or on hips, whatever you need is fine. And one more variation of chair I'd like to offer, especially if there's lots of knee issues, is taking chair at the wall. You'll stand about a foot in front of the wall, and then you'll hinge at the hip creases until your butt touches the wall, then lengthen your spine and hang out right here. We want the knees above the ankles or back even more a little bit. So not forward of the toes or the feet. Cool, nice work, chairs. Take one more breath in. Exhale, fold in half, release. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, high to low plank, vinyasa flow, your variation, take it or leave it. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Shift the weight to your left foot. Inhale, sweep your right leg up and back. And notice if all the weight dumps in your left side body, level it out. Take a big breath in. And now listen up. As you exhale, low lunge, step your foot all the way to the top of your mat, right next to your thumb. You want your toes and fingertips in one line. And this should help set up hips with distance already. When you're ready, inhale, warrior two. Spin your back heel down to 90 and float up and open up. So warrior two, an awesome shape, and it's pretty much guaranteed to be in almost every single yoga class you take ever. You know, pretty much. So warrior two, the front knee hip and toes are in the same frontward direction, but your back hip, your left hip is really open up to the side. You want the left hip crease, knee and toes in the same direction. That way the rotation is equal throughout the leg and you're not adding a twist from the knee. And then settling in and spreading your wings. So you've got the rotation in the spine a little bit too, because your heart is open. So find that rotation. The hips are forward, but really they're opening up, right? And then you're twisting open. Settling in, looking over your front fingertips. And take an inhale breath. Keep your legs, as you exhale, reach forward, extended side angle, tick-tock the arms. And then you can always rest your forearm on your thigh, or you can reach it up and down, reach out, whatever you need here. Keeping the front knee over the ankle or even back a little bit more is fine. We just don't want the knee like hanging out way far forward. That puts too much tension on the knee, the weight bearing load. Nice. Keep your legs, open up your heart to the side here. Take a breath in, stay breath out. Inhale, reverse your warrior, maintain the legs. You're sweeping the torso up and opening up the front ribs. You can look at your back leg. You can look up somewhere in between, heart staying open. Checking in that your knee hasn't now shifted inward, but it's still tracking from the center of your hip to the toes. One more big inhale. Exhale, bring your palms to the earth, high to low plank, vinyasa. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Shift the weight to your right foot, sweep your left leg up and back. Notice the weight distribution, keep it equal. Big inhale. Exhale, low lunge, bring your toes up in line with your left fingers right next to your left thumb. So your hips width distance apart already right here. Pivot your right heel downward. Inhale, warrior two, rise up. And press your back pinky toe into the mat firmly. Check that your left hip's lined up with knee and toes. Your right hip is opening. Your hip and knee and toes are in the same open, about 45-degree rotation here. Settle in. You've got about heel to arch alignment also. You can close your eyes if you're just feeling good in your shape and you just want to breathe into it. Take one more big breath in. Exhale, reach forward, extended side angle. Find your hand placement. Rest your forearm on your thigh if you'd like. I like doing that because then I can work on opening my heart. I really start to feel the rib hip area, just breathe open to some freedom. And then you can engage your oblique muscles. We want to always hug muscle to bone in all of our yoga practice because that not only supports the skeletal structure and joints, but it activates the core. Make sure your front knee is over your ankle or even back a little bit more is fine. One more breath in and stay breath out. Inhale, reverse warrior. Front palm sweeps up and overhead, reaching for the wall behind you. Open up all the ribs, settle into the lunge. Try to peel up out of your hip crease a little bit. Really drive through your front toes, your front foot, like you're pressing on an accelerator, pressing down and forward and press into that back little toe. Some energy coming to the midline, giving you a little more lift as you reach. Right shoulder soft from your ear. One last inhale breath. Exhale, vinyasa flow, palms to the earth, step back through plank and move. If you want to move, you can go straight to down dog. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Big breath in and big breath out. We flow our sun B 2 full times. Inhale, soft knees look forward. Exhale, walk, hopper, float top of your mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold in half. Inhale, chair pose. Utkatasana, set it up, long spine. Exhale, dive down, fold. Inhale, flat back, that halfway lift. Exhale, walk, hopper, float back. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale your cobra, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep your right leg up and back. Exhale, low lunge, step to the top of your mat. Warrior two, inhale, spin your back, heel down, Virabhadrasana. Exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, vinyasa, hands to the mat. Inhale, breath up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Sweep your left leg back, breathe in. Step it forward, breathe out. Warrior two, inhale, spin up and open. Exhale, extended side angle. Reverse your warrior as you breathe, matching breath to movement. Exhale, high to low plank. Up dog with your breath in. Down dog with your breath out. One more time, we've got this. Inhale, soft knees, look at the top of your mat. Exhale, hop forward, walk forward, fold at the top. Breathe in, long spine. Breathe out, fold again. Utkatasana, chair. Sweep the arms forward and up or at your heart. Send the booty back. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, breathe. Walk, hop, or float back, high to low, breathe out. Inhale as you lift open your heart into cobra or up dog. And breathe out, downward facing dog. Sweep your right leg high, breathe in. Step through, breathe out. Warrior two, inhale, rise. Extended side angle, exhale, deepen into it. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Think of someone special. Maybe you dedicate your practice today. Exhale, high to low plank. Building that heat, some arm strength with those chaturangas. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Sweep the left leg up and back, big breath in. Bring it to the top of your mat in line with your fingertips, big breath out. Warrior two, rise up, inhale. Exhale, extended side angle. Open your heart. Inhale, reverse warrior, spread the ribs, breathe a little freely. And exhale, palms to the ground, high to low. Breathe in, up dog, open heart, shoulders hug back. And breathe out, downward facing dog. Whoo. Nice job, pedal it out, take a couple rounds of breath. A lot of work, a lot of breath to movement, a lot of heat being built there. Just remember to believe in yourself. Keep that intention flowing through you with your energy, your breath, the heat. Take one big breath in, lift your hips and heels towards the sky. Open mouth, sigh it out, press your heels down towards the mat a little bit more. Nice, when you're ready, soften your knees to the earth and take a seat. All right, for runs, sun salutations are over. We've started to heat up the body, get moving. Now we build on just some total core, just a couple moves and we're in and we're out. So when you're ready, take it all the way down to your back. You can plant your feet, reach forward, long spine, and then start to roll down using the core work. Go slow, rolling your low back to your mid back to your up back, all the way until you get to the head. Either way you do it, we want to get to our back. Soles of feet together, let your knees open up wide, bound angle pose, Supta Baddha Konasana. And then take your elbows wide, interlace your fingers together, and let your head rest heavy in your hands. Your hands are a hammock to support your head. Pull your navel to the ground, lock it there, and press your feet together, especially if you're having groin or hip pain. Press your feet together. That'll activate your legs. You can lift your knees up towards the sky if you want. Keep drawing the navel down. Take a breath in. On your exhale, round up through the spine. Lift up your head, neck, and shoulders. Keep the elbows wide. Down, up, lower, lift, inhale, exhale. Keep driving the belly to the earth. Head heavy in the hands so you're not crunching into your neck or pressing into your head and neck to lift. You've just got it supported. We'll go for 8. Breathe. 7, 6, 5, keep the elbows nice and wide. 4, keep pressing your feet together. 3, belly button to the ground. Last 2, 1, release. You can take your legs long, your arms wide. Take a big breath in. Sigh it out. Amazing. Last breath in. Sigh it out. And bring your hands back behind your head, elbows wide. And this time, draw your knees over your hips. You've got reverse tabletop or supine tabletop. So you want to flex your toes. So you're pressing through your heels, drawing your toes back towards your knees, and keep your shins, your calves parallel to the ground. Yogi bicycles. On your inhale, you can lift the head, neck, shoulders. Exhale, twist opposite elbow, opposite thigh or knee, extending the other leg nice and long to a hover. Come back through center as you inhale, and exhale, twisting to the other side. So center, exhale, breathe, exhale. Keeping the toes flexed, so when you extend the long leg to that hover, you're actively pressing and pulling through the muscles. Keep driving your belly to the ground. 4 more on each side. We've got 4, 4, and 3. Try to get the shoulders a little higher. 2 more each side. 2 and 1 and done. Woo, nice job. You can take your feet wide if you want, and then windshield wiper your knees side to side. Arms can widen. Big breath in and out. Nicely done. Grab your knees and grab behind your thighs, gathering the knees towards your chest. And we want to rock and roll a few times, lengthening the spine, getting a little bit of rounding, a little momentum, coming up to boat pose. So if it's in your practice, feel free to come right into it. But to set it up, we want to remove any extra flesh from the sit bones and make sure we stay on our sitting bones, not back on the tailbone. And the feet can be planted, grab the thighs, pull the shoulders down your back, keep your spine long, really activating the transverse and rectus abdominis, really firing up the core. So leaning back, you can have the support of the thighs. If you want to take it deeper, maybe one, maybe both legs lift. You want to keep your gaze about 45 degrees where the ceiling and the wall meet, and shoulders soft. Keep reaching through the crown of your head. Option to do anything you want with the hands. You can release, you can reach overhead. Take it where you need to take it. And we're just going to hold for just a tiny bit longer. Option to extend the legs, keep them bent. Feel free to support anytime you need to check in. Make sure you're staying on the sit bones, not the tailbone. Super duper important. We'll hold for 4, 3, 2, do whatever you need. Last 1, nice. Take it to your back, rock and roll a couple more times. Woo, nicely done. This kind of like relieves the low back at the same time. And we'll cross our ankles and come into Sphinx pose. So it's like you're going back to high plank. Take the legs down and lower to your forearms. You want the elbows and shoulders lined up this time. You can spread your fingers wide, press the forearms down and actively draw the elbows back towards the toes. That way you're peeling your heart open. Chin parallel to the ground, gaze is soft past your nose or close your eyes. And if the low back is acting up, feel free to take your feet wider than hips width. But make sure your toes are untucked and that you're activating your leg muscles, squeezing them to bone. That'll help protect the spine while it releases your belly here to stretch. And you can look side to side, shoulder to shoulder if you want a little neck loving, if that feels good. And take one more breath in to really hug the shoulders down your back. Let your heart be free as you engage your legs. And then release all the way to your mat as you exhale. Maybe your forearms become a pillow for your head or your temple. And take a moment to breathe, shimmy out your hips if that feels right. And we'll make our way to tabletop pose when you're ready. So press it up. You can always add a chaturanga right there if you want. Add them on if you'd like. Tuck your toes. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Nice. Big breath in. Exhale, release tension, fear, worry, doubt about the practice, about anything in your life happening. Shift the weight to your left foot. Inhale, your right leg sweeps up and back. Exhale, low lunge, toes and fingertips in line. Make sure your feet are about hips width distance right here. That's going to set you up for success. Inhale, crescent lunge, rise up. So the knee, center of your hip, knee and toes on the front leg should be lined up, as well as the back. Hips are both forward here. Hands can go overhead, hips, shoulders, sky, wherever you need to take care of yourself. And we want to hug the inner thighs. And as you feel the sensation of the legs draw together, notice that lift it gives you to hug in. Keep the back knee slightly soft. Yeah, we want a straight leg. That's what we're working for. And that means the hamstring and quad are opening up. But we don't want to lock the back knee here. It can happen. So keep it just slightly bent. Nice. Heel high in the back. Really press through your front foot. Drive like you're pressing an accelerator. Nice work. Take a breath in. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart if they're not already there. Notice your shoulders should be over your hips right here. But now we're going to hinge from our hips. As you inhale, lengthen through the crown of your head. And as you exhale, revolved crescent lunge, twist to your right. So torso twisting to inner thigh. Left elbow to right thigh if possible. If not, left palm to right outer thigh. Back palm can stay at heart or come to your sacrum. Back knee can always stay up or always take the ground right here. Take a knee is fine. Keep your right knee over the ankle or even back a little bit. We just don't want it too far forward. Though, little side note, if your back knee is down, it's okay if it comes a little bit more forward, unless if you absolutely experience knee tension or pain. Nice. So if your palms are pressing together, press your top palm into the bottom, drive your twist at the ribs, heart, shoulders, and head. Breathe in for a little more length in your body. Breathe out to twist. On your next inhale, look at your front foot. And as you exhale, release your hands to that low lunge. Nice. Back knee down. Walk your right foot to the outer edge of your mat so that your hands come inward of your inner thigh under your shoulders. Knee and ankle either lined up, or bring your toes forward so your knees back behind the ankle. And then lengthen your back leg back a little bit more so we can release into our hips. Runner's lunge. Stay up on palms if you'd like. If you have blocks, maybe you lower forearms to blocks, or if you have the space, forearms all the way to the ground. Now, notice if your knee is hanging out, or we want to squeeze it in on the body so your knee and ankle and hip are in line, but you can let your knee roll open as long as your toes travel in the same direction as your shin and knee. Maybe you close your eyes, take a couple more cycles of breath. Chin can bow into the chest. And on your next inhale, rise back up to your palms and plant the sole of your foot. So all that good stuff's in the same line. Tuck your back toes, lift your knee. Left palm is your base, so make sure it is underneath your shoulder or a little bit more forward of the shoulder. Spread the fingers wide. Side plank, so right arm to the sky. Feel free to keep your right foot planted in front of you, or you can stagger the legs long or stack the legs, flexing your toes back towards your body. Lift your hips, activating your underside body. Shoulders hugging your back, just pressing up actively. Hold for 4, 3, high to low plank in 2, and 1. Right palm plants under your shoulder. Step it back to down dog or move through your chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. And same thing, other side. Sweep your left leg up and back. Big inhale. Exhale, step between your palms, or rather towards the left palm, top of your mat, low lunge. And inhale, crescent lunge, rise. When you know you've got your hips width stance, shoulders come over the hips. Check everything's working out for you. Micro bend the back knee. Breathe. Chin parallel to the ground. Big breath in. Hands to your heart, breathe out. Pulling your right hip forward, keep it in line with your left. Inhale, hinge from those hip creases and reach forward through the crown of your head, high on the back toes, really press your left foot down, and then revolved crescent lunge to your left. Right thigh to outer hip. Back palm can either press down into that hand to drive the twist or bring it to your sacrum. Again, you have the option for the back knee to the mat. You can pad that knee if you want once it's on the ground, or put it on a block. Breathe in to really reach, get long, scissor the legs, and breathe out to twist deeper through the shoulder girdle. On your next breath in, look at your front foot. When you exhale, release your palms to the ground, and then bring both palms inward under your shoulders, left foot to the top left edge of your mat, back knee gently floats to the mat. Untuck the right toes. Set it up and melt into it. Left knee and ankle lined up, or bring the toes a little more forward to the top of your mat. You want to feel your breath here and letting your side body, your ribs expand, lengthen, widen when you breathe in. And that tension, just let it release, melting off. And just to come back right here to your intention, and if you were here, we talked about believing in yourself, because our inner trust or faith will create our external results. So just acknowledging that self-talk. So maybe you inhale self-approval right here. And you exhale any self-doubt. And on that note, with your next breath in, we'll start to come out, plant your left foot, come up to your palms. Tuck your back toes. Right palm is your base for the side plank, so spread those fingers wide. Inhale, sweep your left palm up. Set up your legs however you want, and we settle in. Squeeze the underside body to lift our stacked hips up. Hold for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Left palm under your shoulder, high to low plank, take it or leave it. Inhale, up dog or cobra, and exhale, downward facing dog. Awesome work, big breath in, big breath out. Inhale, soften your knees, look forward. On your exhale, walk, hop, or float, top of your mat, forward fold. Halfway lift, breathe in. Exhale, let it go. Chair pose, Utkatasana with your breath in. Seriously, friends, you're at home or in your own space, privacy, take what you need. If you want to take chair at the wall, take it at the wall. We're going to be here for a couple shapes. And keep the spine long and the belly engaged the whole dang time. Big breath in. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart, keeping your hips forward. Hinge at those hip creases, lengthen through your spine, heels drive into the mat. On your exhale, it's prayer twist, twisting to the right. So elbow to thigh again, or front palm to thigh, maybe back palm to sacrum. Soften your shoulders from your ears. Make sure your knees are in the same line. You have an option to squeeze a block in between your thighs and hug in to light up those inner thighs. Now you can keep the toes down or flex them up, some dorsiflexion, and activate the fronts of the legs. If that's a lot on the knees, you can always lift the heels and step onto a fold up towel or yoga mat. Drive your twist from the ribs, shoulders, heart, head. Breathe in to lengthen your spine. Breathe out to twist. Last inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. And one more, breathe in. On this exhale, forward fold, release it, let it go. You pedal out the knees if you'd like. We'll find gorilla pose. Lifting the soles of your feet, sliding your palms face up, and stepping your feet down right there. You can wiggle your toes and your wrist creases a little, massage and love. And if that's intense, you can take the peace fingers around big toes. And wherever you're at in this shape, let's find a halfway lift, just lengthening the backs of the legs, the spine, all the way through the neck, the arms, and then pull your elbows wide as you fold in half, driving your torso closer to your thighs. Relax your neck muscles. Maybe close your eyes or set your focus behind your shins. One more inhale. Exhale, release. Feet from your hands, hands from your feet rather. Make sure your stance feels secure here. Chair pose when you're ready. Inhale, come right back to it. Hinge at the hip creases. You can be standing up. This can be your chair. Keep the knees soft and just hinge so you've got a little bit of that halfway lift work going on. Or take a deep, about 90-degree bend in the knees, wherever you're at, whatever you need with the shoulders. Take one more inhale breath. Exhale, bring your hands to your shoulders if they're not already there. Thumbs to sternum. Inhale, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen forward. Send the booty back as you reach forward. And exhale, twist to your left. Prayer twist, chair twist. Figure out where you want to be with any of the things. So many options. It's crazy. It's crazy. Awesome. Squeeze your inner thighs on the block if that helps serve you. Drive your twist to open up. Make sure the knees are in the same line. If the right knee's coming forward, pull it back. That means your hip bumped to the side. Pull them back in line. Take a breath in to lengthen. Take a breath out to twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Last inhale. Exhale, fold, release. Nice. Halfway lift, inhale, get long. Exhale, we've got crow pose practice. Yeah, yogi playtime. You can crouch and curl, take a seat. If you want to skip it, child's pose is where we go after. Otherwise, work on your crow. The biggest thing for crow for me when I was learning it was the falling forward, that fear, that self-doubt. Your floor isn't going to be too far away from your face, so you can put some pillows there if you want. Make sure your hips are high. Chaturanga, arms, elbows back. Knees as high as you can get on the backs of your arms. Your backs of arms will toughen up over time. Trust me, it does happen. Fingers are spread wide. Make sure your gaze is forward, like at the top of a triangle from the palms to the forward gaze, rather than underneath you, because you'll tip that way. That's where your body weight will want to go. And you can just stay right here, heels high. Maybe you lift one or both feet. Bring the big toes to touch, heels towards your hips. See if you can hold for a couple of rounds of breath. Maybe you've been holding already this whole time. And when you're ready, feet down, knees down, child's pose Balasana. Rest it out, stretch the back. And spread the inner thighs wide enough so you can spread your ribs nice and wide as you breathe. And connect back in with your breath. Maybe open mouth exhales serve you better than open nose exhales, whatever you need. And again, come back to your intention. A good time to check in, especially after offering, an arm balance. So that self-doubt and that believing in yourself, very different messages, very important that we grasp onto the ones that serve us, right? So just inhaling your confidence, your energy, your courage to try new things or to keep persevering forward, and exhaling out all the bullshit. We already have so much crap in our lives to deal with. Let go of the chaos, let go of the drama. Just be here and present and acknowledge the awesomeness of you working forward. Take one more full deep breath in. Sigh that breath out. Tabletop pose, rise up to all fours and make your way to downward facing dog. Tuck toes, hips high, pedal it out. Take about 2 rounds of breath. Nice. Inhale, soften your knees, look forward. Exhale, top of your mat, fold in half. Breathe into that half lift. Breathe out to fold again. And chair pose. Here it is again. Inhale, toss. And these are going to be our last chairs, I promise. Take what you need. Go to your wall if you want the wall. Grab your block if you want a block. Though we're moving into our balance series, so we have eagle pose. So left foot is your base. You can start with the foot if you want. Take the right leg up and over. It can fly, kickstand on a block, or tuck it. Hands, your right hand comes underneath the left. You can double tap the backs of the hands, tap your shoulders, or bring the palms together. Right leg up and over, right arm is under. Draw your elbows up to shoulder height. And draw your forearms forward or reach your elbows forward, depending on your grip. Level your hips here. Hug muscle to bone, squeeze the energy to the midline. So everything coming in, drawing energy up. You can soften your gaze, look past your hands if they're in front of your face. Kind of this dualistic left side, right side, bringing hatha, sun and moon, left side, right side, bringing everything to center, everything into balance. One more cycle of breath. I know we're in vinyasa, not hatha. So you exhale, just release, come back into your chair, settle into your heels. Hands can be at your heart if the shoulders aren't liking it. When you're ready, eagle on the left. So right foot is your base, left leg goes up and over, left arm underneath. Find your placement. Maybe it's the same, maybe it's different. Level your hips, lengthen your spine. Use a wall if you want a wall. Find your breath. So we're really stretching the muscles in the back here from the shoulder blade to the spine. And try to bring your shoulders up over your hips, speaking of alignment. And reach through the crown of your head. Get nice and tall, hug the legs. Hug the belly, knit the ribs. One more cycle of breath. When you're ready, release to chair, root through the feet, and then inhale, mountain pose, rise up. Hands to your heart, exhale. Tree pose, here it is. So we're gonna start with the right leg open. So really weld your left feet into the ground, spread the toes wide, distribute the weight. And then open up the right inner thigh. So before you even lift your leg, you want to make sure your left center of your hip crease, knee and toes are in the same line. So you're not twisting in the knee. And then you can elevate your right foot off the ground if you want, maybe to your calf, maybe pick it all the way up into your inner thigh. So we're opening up the right inner thigh here, the groin, the adductor muscles to stretch it out. Grow branches with your arms if you'd like. Maybe you close your eyes if you really want to turn on some balance work. And with all this body activation, see if you can just find ways to soften. And soften your belly. Though your ribs want to stay knitting in, and you want your spine, your posture long and tall. So shoulders stay over the hips, but soften the shoulders down your back. Soften the muscles in your face. You want to stand tall and proud and have the energy squeezing to the center through the legs. So both points of pressure coming to the midline together equally. And lastly, if you have harsh, rigid thoughts now or often or whenever, try to catch them, be a witness to your own internal dialogue and soften those thoughts, soften the edges. Branches, make your way back to heart center. And as you inhale, slowly float your right knee forward in line with your hip, hovering the foot. And then exhale, release your foot to the ground. And pedal out the knees or roll your ankle if that serves you. And we switch sides. So setting up, right hip crease, knee and toes in that same direction. Keep them there. Soften your knee just a little bit and bring up your left leg wherever you want to bring it, but avoid pressure directly on the side of your kneecap. So we don't want to lock the right leg, though we want to root down in the foot and drive the energy up, but we're not locking that knee. We're not locking our joint. So a slight bend is desirable. It's what you want to look for in this shape for yourselves. And any branches, same but different, hand mudras, whatever you need to do. And soften your face, your belly. Just one more round of breath. And another. Now branches, make your way back to your heart center. Using the left knee, keep it hovered, bring it in line to the front, knee in line with hip, and then release your foot to the ground, pedal out or roll out, knees and ankles, whatever you need to do. Nice. Take a big breath in, sweep your arms up, mountain pose. Exhale, hands to your heart. So dancer's pose, the last of our balance. If you want a strap for your right foot, go ahead and grab it. I will show you with the strap and without. So dancer's pose, left foot is base, line it all up, right? Just like we've been talking, hip, knee, and toe. We're gonna lift up your right foot, hug your knees together. Take your right palm backwards, capture the inner arch of your foot, or use a strap to capture the inner arch, or to capture the top of your foot rather. And from here, kicking your foot into your hand, you're going to hinge forward, option to reach your left palm forward or bring it to your hip. If you're using a strap, then your hand is on the strap, most likely your elbows pointing in towards your right ribs. You want to slowly guide that right arm out to the right edge of your space, and then bring it up so that your bicep is by your ear, like we would for any of our tricep work. Left hand can stay wherever it is, or you have the option to reach back and capture that to deepen the arch in your back. We want to draw elbows together and forward if they're both being used like this. Now kick your foot into your hand or your strap, try to lift your toes towards the sky, sliding your shin up the back wall a little bit more. Then we want the hips and shoulders both to be squared off, really towards the ground or the front of the room. So we're not trying to open up and stack our shoulders and hips here, but rather we're opening up the front line of our body, deepening into a pretty good back bend. Let's take one more round of breath. If you're using a strap, feel free to explore reaching more firmly up on the strap towards your feet. And when you're ready, we'll slowly release. So bring your foot to the ground. If you have a strap, slowly release the arms. Take the strap off until you come back to standing. We'll go the other side, right? Right foot is base. Draw your left heel up, knee to knee. Take your strap or your arm all the way back. If it's your hand capturing your foot, you're capturing the inner arch. Your thumb is on the top of your foot. Kick your foot into your hand and reach your right arm up if you'd like, and then start to hinge forward. Shoulders and hips stay broad, squared off. Really want to work on a focal point here. So find something that's stable that you can set your attention on. Start reaching your toes, your left toes up overhead towards the ceiling tile. And avoid locking the standing leg knee. So keep it slightly bent here. And we still want to work on engaging the inner thighs, so we're not opening up to stacked or open wide hips and groins here. It's about the heart, the back bend. One more cycle of breath. When you're ready, we'll slowly come out, slowly release the foot from your hand or strap. Strap can go down. Bring your hands to your heart or your hips. Maybe take your feet a little bit wider than your hips if you need a moment. Just breathe. Nice time to close the eyes. Awesome, friends. Blinking your eyes open. Inhale, mountain pose. Sweep for the sky. Exhale, fold in half. Halfway lift, inhale, breath. And exhale, high to low plank. Chaturanga Dandasana. Take it or leave it. Inhale your cobra or your up dog, whatever you need at this point in your practice. Exhale, downward facing dog. Nice. Sweep your right leg up and back. Big breath in. Exhale, low lunge up to the top of your mat. And warrior one. So spin your back heel down. You're going to step up a little bit. Spin the back heel down about 45 degrees. And slowly rise up with right knee over your ankle. So now there's a misconception, constantly learning, right? There's a misconception in the shape that we want both hips forward. And I myself have cued this a bajillion times. But what's happening there is then we're twisting at our knee. So you want the right hip, knee, and toes forward. You want your left hip opening up as much as your knee and toes. So making sure still the center of your left hip, knee, and toes are in the same direction. So you've got this twist coming, opening and freeing up the left hip. And then to bring the shoulders forward, the twist in your upper body is going to happen from your ribs, heart, shoulders, and head. So keeping the left knee and hip open, space to breathe and move. We want the heel down, wherever you're at, it's fine. Bring your hands to some placement that serves your shoulders. And one more time, just thinking about pressing your right foot into the ground like you're pressing on an accelerator. Not make sure your knee is over your ankle or even back a little bit more rather than forward. And then you're set up for success. And we'll transition out. So take a breath in. Warrior 2 on the exhale. So we're going to really open up the hips here. It's kind of an awkward transition. I don't really like it too much, but it is what it is. You'll see it in other yoga classes a lot too, that same move. So just now we've got still keeping the hip knee in line. So you want to make sure you've opened up all that left side to about that 90-degree angle or wherever you're at now, keeping the right knee tracking forward still. Amazing job, everybody. Nice. So inhale, straighten your front leg without locking the knee, still pressing on the accelerator on the right leg, left little toe pressing down. Send your hips back as far as you can and start to reach forward, going in a triangle pose. Breathe in, then exhale, pivot the hands so you can stack the shoulders. Press through your accelerator, soften your right knee, send the hips back. Open up your heart, draw the shoulders into your back. We should feel a lot of stretch in the left upper hip area and even in the front of the hip. And that's the obliques working. So keeping the underside body as long as the left side body. Even though it's bent more from that hip crease, it's still equally long. Nice, big breath in and out. And inhale, come up to standing, use the side body muscles to reach, and then pivot your right foot, knee and hip forward. So now everything's facing the front. Setting up for your practitioner, well down in your feet, slightly soften your knees so you've got all this strong support in your legs. The abductor and your thighs are turning on. Take a breath in as you reach up, shoulders over hips. And then exhale, hands either to your heart or hips, or just dive down. We're going to fold in half right here over our wide legs. Nod your head no and yes. Keep the knees bent a little or a lot. Really, you can do whatever you need. You can stay and hang. You can take your arms, your hands rather, to your ankles or feet. You can walk side to side, bending into the knees a little bit more, sort of some side lunge kind of stuff. Now we got a couple more rounds of breath to explore, to play. And bring your palms under your shoulders. Find a halfway lift right here. So flat back, pull the belly in. Exhale, fold just a little bit deeper. And when we come out, we want our spine long. So you can bring your hands to your hips or tee them out wide, but keep that core engaged. Inhale, rise all the way back up to standing. Exhale, warrior 2, pivot your right toes and knee and hip forward. Big breath in, pull oxygen into your brain. And exhale, high to low plank, chaturanga, take it or leave it. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Sweep your left leg up and back, breathe in. Step forward, low lunge, breathe out. Warrior 1, pivot your back heel down just a little bit, 45-degree, toes facing the top corner of your mat, and rise up. Set up your knee, ankle, hip on the left side forward, and then opening up your right hip as much as your knee and toes are open on that right leg. Left leg is forward. I think I said that opposite. So your hips are slightly opening, yeah? Twist from the ribs and let the heart, shoulders, and head follow in line. Settle into your legs. Press the accelerator down on your left foot. Big breath in. Warrior two. On the exhale breath, start to open up. You're gonna adjust the back leg. About heel to arch alignment. Press through the feet, press the accelerator down, spread the wings. On a breath in, straighten your front leg without locking your knee joint. As you breathe out, reach, reach, reach forward, triangle pose. When you're ready, Trikonasana. You want to make sure the top hip is pulling up and open and still in line with knee and toes. I'll be a broken record for you, so it's really drilled in. So when you do other classes, you got it. You'll hear my voice, it'll stay with you. Nice, opening up your heart, shoulders into your back. Press the accelerator down, press the little toe on the back side down, lengthen both of your side bodies, turn on, squeezing all that muscle to bone, protecting your spine, protecting the low back. Making you work hard here though, the shape. Whoo. One more breath in, one more breath out. Inhale, rise up your torso, your spine, pivot both feet so they're facing forward as well as the knees and hips. This is star pose, just spreading out wide through all 5 points of contact. An option to take a bind this time if you'd like. Bring your hands to your low back, interlace your fingertips, roll your shoulders down your back, but avoid locking your elbow crease. So keep your elbows soft and bent. Take a big breath in. On your exhale, fold all the way down. Remember to keep the knees soft here. Weight is in the balls of your feet, but your heels stay glued. And just try to reach the arms up overhead. Avoid letting the shoulders scrunch in your ears. You want to actively be reaching up and away. Keep your neck long. And if at any point in time the bind doesn't serve you, you can just release it. Find something more desirable. See if you can create some space in your belly to breathe freely while folding a little bit more deeply and using those arms that bind to rinse the back. One more cycle of breath. Binds release, palms under your shoulders. Inhale for a half lift. Exhale, fold all the way down. And a long straight spine to your arms out or bring them to your hips. Inhale, rise all the way up. Take your time. Exhale, warrior two, left toes pivoting. Big breath in. Exhale, last chaturanga dandasana of class if you want it. It's there for you, or it's totally easy to just skip it as well. Inhale your cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Big inhale breath. And sigh it out. Whoo, nice job, friends. Inhale your right leg high. We're cooling down our practice now. Exhale, half pigeon, right knee to your outer right wrist. Untuck your back knee and toes, rather, bring your knee to the ground. And start by leveling your hips. So if there's a knee tension already, you can take a block or a blanket or a sweatshirt or something under the right hip, a bolster, even a pillow, prop yourself up. And if that feels good from here, we want to externally rotate the right leg, so the shin and knee to the ground. So you want to front your foot. That's like a flex point. Press through the ball of your foot, but flex your toes back, like wearing a high heel. It's all good. And then to deepen here, you can start by taking your right knee out a little bit wider than your hip. At the same time, you're gonna lengthen your back leg behind you out of your hip socket even more. This pose is about your hips, not so much anything else. So really it's getting the hips down. Notice if you've shifted all your weight over onto your right hip. I'm telling you all this before we fold, even though for all I know you're folding, it's fine. But if you're shifting your right weight over all your weight on your right hip, stop that. Come back through center. We want the weight equal, the hips, the pelvis level. So that's where you can support. And then from here, if you wanted, and your knee was fine, keep fronting that heel and fold down. And if all else fails, friends, it's okay. We have knee issues, some of us already. You can take it to your back, right ankle over left thigh, and front your foot here as well. And just start to release your body, breathe. And if your belly down, no, you can keep adjusting as needed to deepen. You can keep inching your right knee wider and lengthening your left leg back even more to go deeper into the hips. Just about one more cycle of breath. And with your next inhale, rise back up, press into your palms, tuck your left toes, lifting your knee, and extend your right leg all the way up and back to a three-leg dog, and give yourself a moment to shake out your leg, your knee circulation back into that leg, whatever you need to do. And then downward facing dog. And if you were on your back, of course, you can stay and go into left ankle over right thigh. Otherwise, left leg to the sky, inhale. Exhale, half pigeon, left knee to the outer left wrist to the top of your mat. Rest your shin, rest your back knee, and lengthen your right leg straight out of your hip socket. Is all your weight dumping under your left hip? Good thing to check. You can always put that block underneath if you need it, or a towel. Front your left foot, press through the ball of your foot, flex the toes back. And stay upright or start to fold or come to your back. We want our hips squared off here. So the pelvis, the front of the hips, well, the front of the right hip, the outer left hip, we want those pressing equally into the ground or towards the earth. So if the left hip doesn't greet the earth, that's fine. You put something there to bring the earth to you. And start to breathe, close your eyes. And if you want to go deeper in the hips, inch open the left knee to the left side and lengthen your right leg back behind you at the same time for its two-part. Just be here, just relax. Got another 2 cycles of breath about. And when you're ready, rise up to your palms, support your spine up, tuck your back toes, lift your right knee. 3-leg dog, shake that left leg out. Maybe it's scorpion dog or something else. And we'll meet in downward facing dog. And from your down dog, inhale to a high plank and exhale, lower all the way to the earth. Hug your elbows back, untuck your toes. We've got cobra pose. So fingertips and nipple line are all on the same line here. Exhale out your breath. Inhale, lift your heart, lift your knees as you press your tops of your feet into the ground. And maybe you hover your hands so you're not relying on your arms to lift you, but it's okay if you do. Reach through the crown of your head, look past your nose so your cervical spine isn't cramming or arching. We don't want to overarch. Take a breath in, hug your shoulders back. And exhale, release your left ear and temple to the mat, arms long by your side. And shimmy your hips a little bit if that feels good. And bring your chin back through center. We've got bow pose. So for bow pose, then both of your heels up over your knees, shoulders down your back, reach back and capture your ankles or the pinky toe sides of your feet. And exhale out all of your breath. On an inhale, lift your heart, hug your inner thighs. As you exhale, kick your feet into your hands, reaching your toes straight up for the sky. We want to internally rotate the inner thighs here so that the knees stay in line with hips. Yeah. Reach through the crown of your head. Maybe you rock a little bit front and back on the belly. And just reach the toes up. Soften the shoulders from your ears. Take one more cycle of breath. And slowly, carefully release. Right ear to the mat, arms by your side. Windshield wiper your legs or shimmy your hips if that serves you. And bring your chin back through center. Press your palms next to your shoulders or ribs. Rise up, tabletop pose, and come to standing on your knees. Camel pose, Ustrasana. So you want your knees, hips, and shoulders in one line. You can always pad your knees with your mat or something if that feels right for you here. Option to tuck your toes if you want, but otherwise hands to your hips, fingertips point down, shoulders down your back, and we're going to try to draw the elbows in. And this is going to support us in our lifts. So on your inhale breath, start to lift your heart, lift your chin, and just exhale, press your palms into your low back, hug your elbows in, and keep lifting up through the core. So your legs are active, inner thighs squeezing in on one another. If it's helpful, you could squeeze a block here too. Chin can stay tucked towards chest, or if it's comfortable in your neck, you can look up a little bit more and start to hinge back. Option, if your toes are tucked or not, you can reach your arms down towards your heels, or if you wanted to use blocks, but only if you feel comfortable here in your neck. And again, avoid letting gravity sink your heart. Let your heart keep reaching up towards the universe. One more breath in. And on your exhale, lift yourself back up to a neutral spine. Use all that stomach muscle to lift. And then release. Sit on top of your heels. Palms rest on your thighs. Close your eyelids, chin into chest. Connect with your breath. Let that shape wash over you. A deep heart opener, a big back bend, very demanding on the back, very demanding on your shoulders, your neck. So I urge you to listen to your body with every single pose you enter. Really listen as you're in it. And it's equally as important when we transition out that you're still being cautious with every single pinpoint on your body. My friends, blink your eyes open and come to your back. So shift your weight off to one of your hips, extend your legs in front of you, lower down. One more back bend for you today. From supine laying down, we've got bridge pose. Set your feet hips a distance apart. Draw your heels in towards your hips. Arms long by your sides, palms press into the ground. Keep your gaze in the direction of the sky. Press through your feet, spread your toes nice and wide. Then inhale, start to lift your hips, heart, thighs up towards the sky. You can re-walk your shoulders down your back here or take a bind underneath you if you'd like, pressing your forearms down to assist in your lift. And just see if, without looking, but with feeling, if your knees have wavered out nice, if they've wavered out wide, or if they're squeezing in. Keep your knees in line with the center of your hips. And try to keep them over your heels by pressing and lifting up a little bit more. Driving your chin towards the crown of your head, chin off of chest. One more breath in to lift. And on your exhale, slowly release up back, mid back, and low back. And bound angle pose, soles of feet together, knees wide. You can support with blocks under your thighs if you'd like. And hands wide, or place right hand on your heart, left hand on your abdomen. A nice neutral spine. Come back to your breath. So your inhale, start to draw your knees together. With your exhale, hug your knees to your chest. Give yourself a squeeze, maybe shimmy side to side, just gently. And interlace both fingers, all fingers rather, around your right shin. Hug your right shin towards your armpit and let your left leg release to the earth. Keep it active by pointing through your foot so your leg muscles stay active. And inhale, just really hug your right knee in, maybe roll your wrist forward and back a little bit, or your ankle rather. And on your exhale, supine twist, right knee to the left side of your mat. Trying to stack our hips. Shimmy your left hip underneath you if you need. And keep your right shoulder grounded, maybe tee your arms out wide. Looking up or to the right. So staying active in the left leg. And again, allowing the twist to open up from the upper body at the ribs, the heart, the shoulders, and the head. And with your next inhale, Plant your pelvis on the ground. Both of the backs of your hips are there. Draw your knees back into your chest. Interlace both hands around your left shin. Hug your knee towards your armpit. Let your right leg go long and stay active. Front your foot. Big inhale as you open your left knee up towards your left armpit, maybe rolling your ankle a little bit. Exhale, supine twist. Glide your knee to the right. Stacking hips, maybe shimmying your right hip underneath. And left shoulder in the ground. Open up your arm if that feels good. Look up or left. And your heart should feel spacious. Collarbones wide. Chin off of chest. And on your next inhale, friends, draw your knees back to your chest, squeeze it all in. And we'll capture the feet or the thighs for happy baby from here. Flex your toes down, point your heels up, hug your knees to your ribs. Soften your face, your shoulders, the sides of your body, and you can stay still here yet active, or you can actively move, extending the legs, maybe rocking gently across the sacrum. Part your teeth, maybe you trace the roof of your mouth or across your teeth with your tongue. One more breath in. Actively hug yourself into a ball with your breath out. And squeeze your chin, your nose, bowing down towards your knees. Feel your back, your shoulders lift off the ground. One more breath in. And exhale, releasing your body to the mat, Shavasana. Legs long, heels as wide or wider than your hips, shoulders inch down your back, palms to the sky. Unhinge your jaw, part your teeth. Eyes heavy, brow soft and smooth. Just be. And a reminder to believe in yourself. The brain simply believes what you tell it most, and what you tell it about you, it will create. So if you're telling yourself you cannot, what are the chances your outcome will be? So just deepening your breath a little bit, maybe putting some intention into it. Again, inhaling ideas of supportive talk. And just exhaling any tendencies you might have to feel like you need to please others. And Shavasana is our juiciest place to stay, to honor ourselves in, to unwind, to process our practice our time on the mat. So stay if you want to stay. And if you're ready to get going and start the rest of your day, you can start to wiggle your fingers and toes, rolling your wrists and ankles. And maybe reaching your arms overhead, big good morning stretch. Maybe drawing your knees back in your chest and lolling off to your favorite side, taking a moment to rest there. And then support yourself up to that comfortable seat if that's where you're journeying to right now. Wherever you're at, you have the option to bring your hands to your heart. One more Anjali Mudra, thumbs towards sternum. Bow your chin to your chest if you're upright. Just remember to keep breathing in all that love. And from my heart to yours, thank you for being here. Namaste. Thank you.